but go on to Facebook, and in the little search bar, type in the, T-H-E, and then Cinescape, C-I-N-E-S-C-A-P-E. Cine, like cinephile, cinema, Cinnabon, and then Scape. And then on there, you can follow us and see all the movie and TV news and reviews that your heart so desires.
You can also see my interview from 2 weeks ago where I interviewed Hugh Jackman.
You know Hugh Jackman?
Yes, Hugh Jackman. You
Yeah,
heard that correct.
Hugh fucking Jackman. All right, check it out.
We were trying to play it up here on the big screen, but we couldn't get the...
But so learn his technical capabilities here. No, not difficulties, lack of capabilities.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
So check it out. We would appreciate, any feedback that you guys may have.
You can also check out our YouTube channel.
There is a
where we have
YouTube.
all of our episodes up there. Just type in
Yes.
the Cinescape podcast, and we're also on iTunes as well.
Yeah. So, we got the full spectrum covered. So, if you want to go on our YouTube page, you can see me taser our producer. That was fun. But ladies, since we haven't met you before, is there any shows that you guys watch or any movies that you guys have recently seen that, we could dive into real quick?
I've been watching Taboo.
Taboo. I've heard good things.
Started watching it, but we fell asleep and we didn't get back to it.
But yeah, so we got that going on.
Not because
Taboo.
it was bad, I was just tired.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Billy?
Okay, so
What are you watching these days?
I actually haven't watched it. I want to watch it, but I want your thoughts on Training Day with the passing of Bill Paxton. Where do you think?
Wait, the new Training Day TV show?
Training Day TV show.
I didn't know, honestly, until like 24 hours ago that there was a Training Day TV show.
Yeah, supposedly he had filmed the whole season, so the whole season one's ready to go.
Does it have anything to do with the movie premise? Like,
yeah, he's playing the Denzel role, which is very weird. Yeah, because Bill Paxton's pretty white.
Shit, I didn't know you like to get wet.
But yeah, supposedly they're going to have some kind of tribute to him on that show. If you guys didn't hear the other day, Bill Paxton, star of such famous films as Twister,
Predator 2,
Aliens, Frailty. That was a good one.
Frailty. Okay.
Yeah, he passed away after complications from heart surgery.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
sad news
sad.
there.
Let's have a moment of silence
Deep reflection here.
For the loss of Bill Paxton.
All right.
Game over, man.
Remember,
It's game over.
Did you see the clip I posted from True Lies?
I did.
Yeah.
There's another one, True Lies.
Yeah, Corvette gets you wet. Sad news from there. Did anybody watch the Oscars the other night?
What about that screw up though?
Oh my God! Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Big debacle. Did nobody watch the Oscars? I think one person. No. So have you guys heard about this? No. So, there was this whole mix-up on the very last award. Last award is always best picture. To bring in the year of movies. So they had Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, who had won Best Picture like 50 years ago for, I don't even remember what movie. Bonnie and Clyde. Thank you. That is correct. For Bonnie and Clyde. So, to commemorate their winning, they were the presenters. And so, when it came time to announcing the winner, they announced La La Land, but about halfway through the acceptance speech from numerous La La Land, directors, producers, etc. There was this whole confusion and mix-up, and you even saw it on Warren Beatty's face when he
was looking around like
did you see him? He was like looking at the
wrong.
card. He knew something was wrong. And you know what? This is what I don't get is if you could tell there was something wrong, and I'll explain what was wrong in a moment here. But if you had the slightest hesitation, you knew something was aloof in that sense, wouldn't you just take that moment on live TV and just flag down like a stagehand and just say, hey, something's wrong here? Because at least then you would have had it straightened out, and then you would have been able to press on, still present and have everything correct the way that it should have been, instead of, it felt like it was like reality TV almost, where you didn't know if they were fucking with you and, if they were trying to pull one over or whatever they were trying to do. But, so it turns out, they announced La La Land as Best Picture. There was confused looks on the face of Warren Beatty when he was announcing it. There was hesitation. And then it turned out, after the director of La La Land gave a speech and other people, you see like stagehands going back and forth behind the people on stage, and then Jimmy Kimmel even comes out and starts to detract a little bit, and the director of La La Land grabs the mic and says, was the producer? Thank you, Vinny. Maybe you should be up here. Grabs the mic and says, hey, there's been a huge mistake. We didn't win. Moonlight is actually the winner. Guys, get up here. And they they're like, no, this isn't a joke. Get up here. Moonlight, you guys won. And so, everybody's just shocked at this point. They don't know what to do. Moonlight guys are like, do we really go up? Did we win?
Where's the foot?
And they show the card that that they did win. Moonlight comes up and Warren Beatty explains, hey, I had this card that said Emma Stone, best for Best Actress. So, and then Emma Stone actually tweeted after that she had the envelope in her possession. So then now there's this whole confusion about how these envelopes got switched and etc. So it turns out that the Academy, for future reference, has 2 stagehands on each side of the stage, depending on.
They each have sets of cards.
Right, and there are 2 briefcases with 2 identical sets of cards. So the thing is that they presume Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway came, on the one side of the stage and were handed the Best Actress card. And so when he opened it up and saw, Best Actress, which is why you saw his facial expression, he just assumed that, okay, maybe there was a little typo or whatever, but La La Land was the winner. But at that moment, you should have realized that, okay, I have the card for Best Actress, something's wrong, I should grab somebody and say, hey.
Well, that's why he looked to Faye Dunaway, because he was confused and he wanted to look to her to get some kind of.
But you got, I know, but you got 2 old people on stage. Like, I don't know.
Should we, do something? So he looked at her, and she, without really thinking twice, she just blurted out La La Land. So I think he looked to her, as any good man would do, looking to a woman for, advice on what to do in a situation. But yeah, I think she kind of dropped the ball, just blurting out La La Land.
Oh, absolutely.
At that point, then it should have been calling to somebody off stage to see,
exactly.
that was actually going on.
And he tried to. Rectify the situation by just explaining to people, because otherwise he would have been crucified.
Yeah, they were going to rip him.
Right. So, it was a good thing that he got on the mic and said, hey, listen, this is what, this is the card I was given. So it shouldn't be, on me. Somebody else fucked up, which, they did.
It was a good job of Jimmy Kimmel, too, kind of,
Did you hear what he said?
I blame Steve Harvey.
But, yeah, so, that was funny. But it was just crazy because, the people from La La Land had been up there for over almost 5 minutes. So you had a handful of people already giving speeches, and it was already coming to a close. And then by the time Moonlight's crew gets up there,
nobody cared.
Nobody cared. They were just kind of like, oh, people still didn't realize if it was real or if it was fake. And the people from Moonlight really just. All they could really do is say thanks at that point, because I think, it pulled one over on them too, because they didn't expect to win, and then when you say, no, we fucked up, you did win, you're kind of just really taken back at this point, because now you've gone through, double the emotional, pressure at that point, and, there's not much you can really say, so. Other than that was a huge mess up, and after you have something like that by the Academy, and then what was it, a week or 2 before that with the Grammys with Gaga and Hetfield and Metallica, and that whole debacle there.
I wonder who's running these shows.
Exactly. I mean,
checking everything, make sure everything's legit.
Yeah, you're gonna go on Monster.com and you're gonna see an audio tech job for CBS, and
somebody
then
definitely lost their jobs.
Yeah, a card presentation technician for the ABC Academy Awards. So I mean, there's a whole lot of things that need to get ironed out. You got to plan better for contingencies like that. So I think certainly these two award show debacles are going to make people rethink about how they operate going forward. So it was just crazy to have your night topped off, and so I think if anybody stayed up late for that, they definitely got something worth watching. So so that was that. But that's really all that we got in hot news this week. Other than Bill Paxton and the crazy Academy Awards.
I have a TV story.
Yeah.
So, any American Horror Story fans out there?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
I already know.
Did you guys hear the premise for the upcoming season?
Yep. Tell me.
So, show director Ryan Murphy shared some news about the premise for the season, saying, "Well, I don't have a title, but the season we begin shooting in June is going to be about the election that we just went through. So I think that will be interesting for a lot of people." But he later clarified that Trump and Hillary Clinton would not be portrayed on the season. Bill, what do you think about a premise like this kind of being interwoven into a horror-type story?
First, I think this is a tremendous opportunity. Yes. This is a point in time in our political climate to really, really say that it's going to be huge. First off, Ryan Murphy, the FX crew, they're phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. It's going to be huge. Lady Gaga is phenomenal. China is also somebody else that should have their own American Horror Story show. I mean, you got 1 billion people over there creating some of the most phenomenal delicacies of food out there. I mean, how did they get the little the wontons and the bing boom bing that kind of chef over there? It's truly great. And if I know anything, it's greatness. And if I could make greatness even greater, that it would probably come from China.
President Trump endorses the new season of American Horror Story.
Make it great again.
It's gonna be great.
We also got a bunch of movie release dates shifting around here. Paramount Pictures removed the upcoming World War Z sequel from
I saw that.
slate.
How do you feel about that? I liked the first one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. They also took Friday the 13th off the shelf completely.
Damn it.
Completely, so it's not happening at all anymore. Sony also moved some dates around. Hotel Transylvania 3, which everybody is waiting for, will now be July 13th, 2018.
Why is there a
Goosebumps
third
2, September 21st, 2018. And the long-awaited Bad Boys for Life.
For life.
November 19th, 2018. And they have also removed Bad Boys 4 from their current slate of films. So if you're a Bad Boys fan, some up and down news there. This next one is really terrible. The creative team behind such classics like Meet the Spartans and Epic Movie are gearing up for a new Star Wars spoof movie. Have you heard about this, guys?
Oh. That could go either way.
So, check this film title out. It's currently titled Star Worlds, Episode XXXVIE equals MC squared, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi Who Went Rogue.
You need to shorten that
we're
a bit.
getting another spoof movie from these directors that don't know how to do
There's only one spoof movie.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say there's only
Young
one.
Frankenstein.
Well, there's...
You got Airplane.
Facts.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
What was I?
What'd you say?
Anything Kentucky
Mel
Fried
Brooks
Movie.
touches.
Right, maybe. Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything Mel Brooks is involved with. What's the other one that I'm thinking? Spoof movie. Hot Shots. And
Well,
Hot Shots Part 2.
I'm sorry. I wasn't referring to that there was only one spoof movie. I just
Star
meant there
Wars
was only
movie.
one sci-fi.
Okay.
Sci-fi.
I'll let you go there.
They're already making a Spaceballs too.
They've been making Spaceballs 2 for 30 years.
Spaceballs.
The lunchbox.
Spaceballs the flamethrower.
Yeah, so good news there if you're into really terrible spoof movies.
Yeah. I got no internet over here.
No, you're internet free?
I'm internet free.
That's alright, because I got another story for you.
Alright.
Danny McBride, we're big fans of his.
Yeah.
And David Gordon Green will be writing the upcoming Halloween film.
Okay.
According to a Facebook post from John Carpenter himself, with Gordon Green also set as director. Originally thought to be a reboot, it has now been confirmed that it'll actually be a continuation of the first 2 films in the series.
Yes.
Danny McBride dropped the news about this, saying, "You know, it's not a remake. It's going to be a continuation of the story Michael Myers in a really grounded way. And for our mythology, we're focusing mainly in the first 2 movies and what sets up, and this is worded weirdly, and then where the story can go from there. Green and I are definitely going to do a straight-up horror. Halloween has always been one of my favorite movies of all time. There's a simplicity and an efficiency to that first one, and I think that allows the movies to just be scary as hell." So we have the creative genius behind Eastbound and Down,
Yes.
Vice Principals. What do you think a Halloween-led movie from Kenny Powers himself is going to be like?
I don't think you can expect it to be comedic. You know,
I sure hope not.
No. But these guys have definitely shown that they're able to go in depth and really flesh out characters. I mean, look at people like Kenny Powers, for example. I mean, you have a down on your luck, washed up professional baseball player, who loves to party, drink, do drugs and stuff like that. But it is a great show.
It's awesome.
But when you watch that show, the character is fleshed out so well that he truly has periods throughout the show where you feel bad for him, but then there's times where you want to see him succeed. So they're really well at writing for characters, no matter what the degree. But just recently we saw Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Who is famously known for Key and Peele. He is a comedic writer by trade, but he's got that new movie out, Get Out, which looks absolutely scary, to be honest. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It looks scary.
See, this is the thing with comedic actors, writers, directors, that they have such a well of, inner turmoil and darkness inside of them.
Darkness.
That you don't necessarily see on screen, at the forefront, but, that really does shine through, especially with somebody like a Danny McBride,
Yeah.
where you can see, whether you're watching Eastbound and Down or whatever you might be watching, man, he has these moments and these flashes where he goes to really dark places, but then he tops it off with the comedic element on top of it. So I think this is going to be a perfect marriage here. I have one more story before we get going. This is kind of a funny one that came up semi-recently. So the infamous Batman and Robin film. If you remember or not,
I remember.
Coolio actually had a short cameo in there. So a new snippet of information came out about Coolio. So he spoke recently about his anger over the never-made Batman triumphant film, as he was promised a leading role as the villain. So Batman and Robin, and this is his quote: "Batman and Robin was the only Batman that didn't make money. I'm still sore about that a little bit, because the only reason I did that part is because they promised me the villain part in the following Batman, which they didn't do, because Joel Schumacher, they fired him. He's supposed to do the 2 next ones. He and I didn't get along that good anyway. I mean, he made a terrible Batman movie. But the next villain, get this, was supposed to be the Scarecrow. They didn't do it, though. Maybe one day. I'm sure they won't come calling, though." So could you imagine a Scarecrow played by Coolio?
Well, we almost had Marlon Wayans play Robin in Batman and Robin. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess anything's possible. But you know, there was a lot of weird random shit in the 90s that almost happened, you know? You know, it's one of those things, you know, Eddie Murphy was almost in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. How, could you imagine that? But he ended up going off and doing The Golden Child, so... you know, there's always those what ifs in movies, and
yeah.
you know, you wonder what could have been, or what maybe should not have been.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we are gonna get going here. We have 2 movies for you guys for movie night. The first one, what, Bill?
What, Bill?
What,
All
Bill?
right, I got one question.
All right.
Okay, go for it.
It's a sequel question.
Sequel, okay.
So, some sequels
Right,
have been made years and years after the original.
right.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
Which one do you think was the worst remake?
Dumb and Dumber 2.
Okay.
Worst.
That movie's fucking
Wait, the
awful.
worst. What?
The worst,
You know what? No.
worst
Here, I'll give you Zoolander 2.
Ah,
That movie is god awful.
I know Dumb and Dumber was horrible.
Zoolander's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
the first
What
one
do
or
you
the
think
second
about
one?
The second Boondock
Zoolander
series?
2.
Also-
Yeah, Zoolander one was on point.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that like a Netflix
Joe Dirt
special
too?
or something?
Oh god.
That movie sucks.
Yeah, you know what I just watched the other day, and it was absolutely hilarious. The Do-Over on Netflix.
Do-Over.
It's
I don't think I
Adam
saw that.
Sandler, David Spade. It's a Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got like
sponsored movie.
8 Netflix movies coming
Yeah,
out.
but you know what though? You know, this movie, I felt, you know, whoever wrote it, I don't know if it was, you know, Sandler and his crew. I don't think
Madison Production?
I don't think it was, no, because if Netflix doesn't really like to bring in, you know, these, you know, they like to give some creative, you know, talent. They like to pay people, but this movie, I felt it really put those two back in a certain comedic essence that they've lost over the years. Because face it, they kind of went through that whole like, oh, we're middle-aged guys, so we kind of got to do these like, you know,
rom-coms.
yeah, these like white Medea type movies, you know, like, you know, and it wasn't them, you know, they had to go back to being just stupid humor, and this movie definitely takes a lot of that stupid humor, and what really struck funny for me was David Spade. If anybody knows, I work for a bank. I've been in banking for 10 years, but my last bank job that I worked at, my branch was inside of a grocery store. And so, Bill, you could relate to this too. So David Spade's character
Came into the store. It was
yeah, he came in. He plays a bank manager of a grocery store bank. So, and it's just funny because it kind of harps on some of the same, joke lines that, you know, I'm already familiar with from being in the business and having worked in one of those stores. Like, there's like a scene where, you know, he's sitting at his desk, like all pathetic, and like some old lady comes up and was like, "Can you tell me where the kitty litter is?" And he's like, "Ma'am, this is a bank. We have no affiliation with the grocery store." And you know, it's hard to say no affiliation when you're sitting at your desk here and like, you know, a register is like 5 feet from you and there's products and stuff. So, you know, it's funny because, you know, having worked in a grocery store branch, you know, you try to ignore that fact and you try to act, you know, like, I still work at a bank, but, you know, it's in a grocery store. And so, like, you know, she's like, well, do you know where it is or not? And he's like, yeah, it's in aisle 2. And, and then they pan out and it's just like him sitting at this like sad like savings and loan bank inside this, you know, shitty like Stop and Shop type store. And so that's pretty funny. And Adam Sandler, you know, really goes back to, you know, the basics of his comedy, of just being, you know, outlandish. And, you know, so I suggest, you know, that's my pick for the week. Go on Netflix, check out The Do-Over, Adam Sandler, David Spade.
Fuck Adam Sandler.
Hey, fuck you, man.
Fuck you too.
Bro, he makes shitty movies.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, the man redeems himself. All right. So, you know, it doesn't redeem him for, you know, the past like 8 movies that he's done. But, you know, Zohan is definitely a hilarious movie. It's funny, man. What, you don't like Fizzy Bubbly?
No. All right, like I was saying, we do have a nice double feature for you guys tonight. We're going to start
Tell them
off
about the
with...
first porno we're showing.
We're going to start off with Backdoor Sluts 9.
Yeah, so we got tonight, Backdoor Sluts 9 is going to be on first. Followed by White Girls with Big Asses will be next. It's a great movie. It sounds current, but it was actually made in 2002. So I mean, these girls, their asses might not be so big now. They might be a little flat. Could be a little droopy. But hey, guys, I hope you like porno, because that's what we're watching tonight. All right, cool.
But then after that, we're going to be watching Doctor Strange, who just came out on Blu-ray today.
Right,
and then Deadpool after that.
Yeah.
So nice heroic night for you.
So the box of sex toys are in the back, so feel free to help yourself. Use at your own risk. You're going to have to probably clean them off, because
Billy used them all.
So he probably got like herpes and
I'm good now.
Poop on him.
HPV.
HPV. And so guys, welcome to Saluna. And yeah, I know. I'm trying to scare him, but
before we go, just we wanted to mention that we do have a live show this Sunday, 2 p.m. Bless you. On toxicradio.net, you can find us there live in the studio. We'll be talking the latest movie and TV news. We have special guest Josh McCouga calling in from Collider Video. 2 weeks after that, we have from Access Hollywood, Scott Mance. He's a segment producer calling in as well. You can find us, like we were saying, on Facebook at Cinescape, Cinescape Cast on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes.
After 2 a.m., we become the
Cinescape. We talk pornos there too, apparently. So definitely give us a subscribe. Leave some comments and feedback. Like I said, definitely go on and check out my interview with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, you won't go online and check it out.
Got just about 5 minutes with him. If you guys want to see it while you're here tonight, just come over to where we are sitting. We can show it to you.
Yeah, Mulan, you won't come over. Yeah, be waiting for you, dog. Right.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog. Like Michael Vick.
Ooh.
Yeah, Michael Vick. Dog fight.
So we are going to conclude our tomfoolery here tonight.
Yeah.
Enjoy Doctor Strange and Deadpool, guys. Thanks for listening.